A younger demographic, cheaper internet and higher mobile penetration have been credited with the growth of online forex trade in Kenya. These and the hunger to make money and make it quick has also led to a number of Kenyans being lured into scams. In 2017, the Capital Markets Authority operationalized the first online forex trading regulations, making Kenya the second nation in the continent to do this. This ostensibly to regulate the sector, but also to offer the much-needed confidence to Kenyans to join in on this diversification of market products. Good afternoon. This is Business Now, and I'm Yvonne Okwara Matole. Welcome to the show. Here's what we have for you. On the show this afternoon, what are the basics in trading in Forex? Keeping the scammers away. How CMA is regulating online forex trade. And in our Made in Kenya segment, we feature Utamaduni Furnitures, who use papyrus reeds to make their products. All right, and to have that discussion, here's a look at who we will have on the show in just a few minutes. Of course, we have the regulator joining us. That'll be Peter Onyango, Principal Specialist Risk and Stress Testing at the Capital Markets Authority, that is CMA. And also on the show, we've got two brokers, starting with Kenneth Waiganja, who's the acting CEO of Scope Markets Limited, as well as Samuel Kiraka, who's the CEO of EGM Securities, trading as FX Pesa on the market. So any questions that you have, please do start sending them in at Citizen TV Kenya, at Yvonne Okwara. The hashtag is Business Now. What would you like to know as per trading in the online forex trade? Do you want to know about the risk, how it works? Which broker are you using? What sort of help would you want from the regulator? That is the Capital Markets Authority. Send in your questions now, and my guests will definitely get into them. Looking forward to that conversation in just a while. But first, let's take a look at stories that are making headlines this afternoon. And we begin with Equity Bank, that is set to disburse funds to vulnerable communities in Phase 3 of the Hunger Safety Net program. This follows the handing over of a 558 million shilling check to the lender from the government for onward lending to communities in Wajir, Marsabit, Mandera and Turkana counties. The Safety Net program is one of 4 cash transfer programs under the National Safety Net program, collectively called Inua Jamii. Elsewhere, cane farmers at Sukari Industries are up in arms over what they termed as bad engagement with the miller. The close to 400 cane farmers in Ndiwa cite delay in payments and bribery before harvest. On its part, Sukari Industries management has called for patience, citing its small crushing capacity, which can only handle 800 tons per day, contrary to the estimated 2,000 tons that they receive in a day. And finally, LG Electronics has announced its commitment to set targets to follow science-based targets with a goal of cutting greenhouse gas emissions in the use phase of major LG products by 2030. The campaign, led by the Science Based Targets Initiative, has commitments of participation from nearly 700 global companies. All right, it's time for the 5 today. On the show, we're talking about online forex trade. And so these are some 5 things we believe you need to know about the trade. Forex trading is, what is it? Well, it is the buying and selling of currency at the international market. So here's how one makes profit, similar to other businesses, by buying the currency at a lower price and then selling it at a higher price. It is therefore dependent on the ever-changing exchange rate. The trade has opened up to individual retailers and has picked up in Kenya significantly since 2017, following CMA regulation. And Kenya is now the 3rd largest forex trading market in Africa, after South Africa and Nigeria, in terms of number of traders and trading volume. The CDSC estimates that the net asset base of online Forex brokers is over 300 million shillings. Now, of the 1.3 million Forex traders on the whole continent, Kenya accounts for about 70,000 of them. Now, of course, the next question is who regulates them? Well, the Capital Markets Authority has been regulating online Forex trade for about 4 years now. The CMA passed its regulations on the 25th of August 2017 to safeguard the traders in Kenya. Ensure the broker you choose is licensed by the CMA. Why? It's helpful in case of any complaints or fraudulent practices. Now, there are about 4 brokers, I think 5 actually, regulated in Kenya at the moment. Among them, companies like Pepperstone Markets, Scope Markets and EGM Securities Trading as FXpesa. We have 2 of those here on the show this afternoon. So, how do you get started? Well, here's a list of what you need to do. First is obviously to select a broker and make sure it's one who's regulated by the CMA. Also, consider other factors such as their cost. Remember, they each charge you a cost for the service that they provide. It's called a spread, and this depends on the type of the account that you have with them and the different instruments that they will use. You also want to consider the minimum deposit they require, the type of accounts they offer, and the tools that they use for trading. So once you've selected your broker, you then open an account with them, you make your deposit, and then you download the trading platform and you get started. Now, I know it sounds easy, but we'll talk about it a little more. Forex trading, as you know, here's another thing. It's about managing your risk. It is a risky venture. Just like any other business, there are many factors that determine the exchange rate of currencies. So you need to be aware of brokers who offer very handsome guaranteed returns. The general rule of thumb is don't invest more money than you're prepared to lose. Now remember also that currency exchange rates are highly volatile and unpredictable. Now, some experts have said that up to 60% of traders lose more money than they gain. Now, whilst the online Forex traders and the trading seems lucrative, especially now during the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm sure you've seen the ads popping up just about anywhere online. There is still a lot to learn about how it actually works. As we've already said, deal with a licensed regulated broker, beware of the risks, but don't let that discourage you. You know what they say? The higher the risks, the higher the return. But it also needs to be an educated risk. That means you have to understand the market. So don't only depend on your broker's advice. The Forex market is open 24 hours a day, so you can also monitor the exchange rates for yourself. Now, we're told that one of the ways to start learning is by operating a demo account before you begin trading with actual money. So the basics of everything that we're talking about today with online Forex trading is this. Do your homework. That's the 5. All right, so welcome back. Let's now get into the discussion on the show this afternoon. Like I said, my guest, Peter Onyango, Principal Specialist, Risk and Stress Testing from the CMA. Thank you very much. We also have Kenneth Waiganjo, Acting CEO, Scope Markets, and Samuel Kiraka, who's the CEO of EGM Securities. I think the best place to begin, gentlemen, is with the regulator. So since 2017, it actually looks like it'll be, what, the 4th anniversary in a couple of days. So talk to us about, the regulation, the need for it, why you came up with it, and why so few have been registered since 2017.
It all started by a demand from the public. The regulator noticed that a lot of people were actually trading on online Forex using the online internet-based. So it was a feeling that this is something that needed to be regulated. So it all began with a change of the Act, the CMA Act, to allow online Forex regulations, and then a lot of stakeholder engagement so that we can see how we can put it in regulation so that you can when Kenyans are trading, they're trading in an environment that is safer than actually just trading with unlicensed brokers.
Okay.
So when it started, immediately the regulations came out, we actually had an application, and that was now EGM Securities, and they got their license and people started trading. After that, now other brokers came in for applications, and now they are licensed. So far we have around 4 brokers that are regulated, and those are the ones that we'd like to encourage Kenyans to actually trade through, because that is where now they have protection from the regulator.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll talk about, redress and seeking recourse with the licensed and with the unlicensed, if at all there is some protection that the CMA would offer for that. So, complaints coming from the public, they're trading online, and they encounter a bit of challenges, and then that gives rise to the regulations that we have, being, I think, one of the leaders on the continent with respect to that. So let's talk a little bit about, Forex trading. On the show, I'll start with you, Samuel. On the show, we've talked about trading in stocks. We've done all of this type of thing. So talk to us about online Forex trade and how, in your view, that differs for a viewer who's saying, so is it like buying shares at the stock exchange or the securities exchange? What is it? How does it differ? And maybe just a general overview of how it works.
Thank you. Yes, we then were the first to be licensed. Like Peter has said, it's been a 3-year journey. And coming from the traditional investments in stock market where you buy shares, most people would buy to hold.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of traffic and interest in trading. So you buy in the morning and you can sell in the afternoon. And that's what the global markets has offered us over the last 3 years. We've been doing this business in this country. And the exciting bit about this is that it is customer driven. People want it. People have been looking for these commodities and these products. And therefore, it's been an exciting journey. The difference between the others, which is really bonds, you have long-term, fairly well guaranteed.
Yes.
So you can go in and hang on to your bond, your fixed deposit, your government bond over long term with very sure returns.
Yeah.
This one is a bit more speculative. One would have to have very well calculated risk management tools, and we are able to train clients on that, because that is key.
Yeah.
Like we said in the beginning, you need to understand the market. You need to see how the volatility is working and use it in your favor to make something for yourself. So it's been an exciting 3 years. What we would do is get clients on board the same way they would on board on the local market. So in terms of KYC, know your customer, you'd have all the paperwork in place. We would do, of course, due diligence on that. We would ensure that really as a client comes on board, that we've done the checks on where their money is coming from.
Right.
Because of the issues around terrorism and financing of that, and also money laundering.
Yeah.
So that would be very similar to the normal market that we are used to. So what this does offer really is global markets. And lately, we've joined the NSE. Yeah. So we are also able to do derivatives on the NSE. So we have counters on the NSE that we actually can offer the same. So about of a cross-sell. So somebody who is really on global markets can look at the local markets as well. And those who are doing foreign markets, and our market primarily is foreign driven. Yeah. And therefore offering them futures on our platform has been very, very exciting.
Okay. And, what you've talked about, it's a global market you're dealing in, because basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kenneth, you are buying currency. You don't own it, but you are trading in currency.
Yeah, you
correct?
Ideally, you trade on price.
On price?
Yes.
That is the exchange rate?
Yes.
So what are some of the factors that, affect that exchange rate and therefore would affect one's returns?
So basically, you look at things like what's happening in the world. So in the last 3-4 days, we've seen the Taliban advancing on all major cities in Afghanistan. That, for example, would have an impact on global oil prices. Now, what happens is foreign currencies are ideally either they work in tandem with a currency, or they work vis-a-vis a currency. So, for example, you'd find anyone now who is interested in gold then would now look to buy something to do with oil.
Okay.
So that shift then means there's an expectation that the prices will go up for oil, and then the interest in gold, for example, will go down. So that's the main driver. Also, you have to look at global markets. What has happened in the last... we've been talking of global warming. With global warming, then obviously there is a drive to green energy. So you find stocks that are green energy driven are very popular. In fact, you find anyone who's working on green energy is also working on certain elements that actually bring up, they just need to have something that allows them, allows the so to speak, the client or the trader to see that they are a green company, and suddenly their stocks have a great interest.
And all of this, you're talking about gold, you're talking about oil, you're talking about green energy. The reason they affect the exchange rate is because the global buying, purchasing, or trading
That's where the investment is going.
Right.
Yes, yes.
And they use dollars.
They use dollars.
Yes.
Yes.
So that obviously
But we have to consider other currencies. So, for example, in Europe, obviously the euro is very strong. But we've also seen a resurgence of the pound since the Brexit. Yes. Okay. So the pound, I think, around the time there was Brexit, it dropped to about 128 shillings. Right now, it's up there at 150. Yeah. So that is because, as for Kenya, since we are a big partner with the UK, then there has been that demand for pounds, such that whoever was holding euros still needs to buy. Still needs to buy pounds.
Okay, so which are the common currencies, the foreign currencies that one deals with? You've mentioned the pound, euro.
Pound, euro, dollar, yen.
Okay.
Ideally, those are the main currencies.
Those are the main currencies that you take a look at. And Samuel, let me come back to you and just talk about. We've said how it works is, we open an account, we deposit money, and then we download the platform and we begin trading. But so tell us, once I give you my money, what's the minimum, first of all, that I can give you? And then once I give you the money, so what do? I come, I say, Sam, can I give you $100 or is it $50? And then, take us through the step-by-step of what happens then.
All right, yeah. The license doesn't allow us to give you advice around your asset itself. Okay. So the risk is on you as the investor. So unlike what we've seen with normal brokers, where you'd actually go to your stockbroker and say, buy me some counter, some Safaricom, for example, and they would give you advice. Yeah. To a large extent, we don't do that. So we're not an asset manager. Our license from Peter and the regulator is that we actually offer the platform. So we skill you on tools to manage your assets. So the buy and sell transaction that Kenneth was describing would happen as an investor takes charge. But what we do is we skill you, we train you. So we would offer you training around the risk management tools, around if you want to take profit, what are you looking at? Is it a 5%, a 10%? If you want to do a stop loss, say on a commodity and you're buying it at $1,000, you want to take a 5% loss, so you can take off $50. So at $9.50 you can exit the market. So that's really what we've seen. Our license doesn't allow us. So the people who would actually hold assets on behalf of investors would be the money managers or the asset managers or fund managers. Okay. So for them, they would have that discussion that here is my money, and I've put in my $2 million or $1 million or $500,000. Go and make something for me. And the investor is only gets reports and updates. Okay. But what we are practicing today with my colleague Kenneth is just offering a platform, but educating people on how to use the platform to their advantage.
So the decision would be mine to say,
be yours.
I want GBP, or I want dollars, or I want euro, and I want you to sell now, and that is all up to the investor. Correct.
Yes. However, we do avail research. Okay. Market research, which would be available anywhere. You can download it for yourself, but we do offer that. So besides just skilling you on the tools of how to buy and how to exit, how to deposit the money and to get out, and the back end issues around customer service, we're actually able to share with you webinars, podcasts, and work the client journey with you.
So, I mean, unlike all of the other investment types that we've featured on this show, with treasury bills, treasury bonds, and stocks and securities, there seems to be quite a great responsibility, or greater, shall I say, on the investor with this one.
Yes. Actually, we call them traders.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at the price movements, and then you're taking decisions.
Okay.
Do I get in now? Do I wait? And luckily for the products we offer, because they're contracts for difference, you can even enter as a price goes down.
Okay.
But now you'll enter as a sell. And then when the price hits as low as you anticipate, then you can buy.
Buy some more.
Yes.
Okay.
No, that's the point now you say you buy.
Okay.
So you'll still make money.
Oh, I see.
Even
okay.
when a stock or a CFD is going down. So the whole idea is the decision is on you. So you do your research. We do offer, as he has said, daily webinars. We offer information around what's going on in the global markets, and then you do make the decision to enter and to exit.
Yeah, so the decision would be, I would call you and say...
No, we actually, on the platform, it's a click of a button, yes.
So,
close,
so
open,
call, which is click of a button for, you know, that is where the decisions are made. Yes.
You actually do it on our platform.
Everything happens online.
Yes.
With it being so high risk, Peter, why would anyone want to get into this?
I think we, as a community, a Kenyan community, we love high returns, and we love taking part in situations where you feel you can make some good money.
Yeah.
But as a regulator, we don't want to stop you from taking part in those asset classes.
Do you think the Kenyan populace generally understands you know, what they need to do, what they need to know getting into online Forex trade?
What happens is that before the client is onboarded by the online Forex broker, they normally have to go through some training. They're profiled, and they're given training opportunities, so they actually learn the product and how to trade on the product.
Yes. Okay.
Now, if for any reason the citizenry does not want to trade on his own, they also have an opportunity to actually trade through a money manager.
Okay.
So almost like a fund manager, someone who has the expertise to trade on their behalf. So there are two ways. As a Kenyan, if you want to trade on your own, you can trade on your own. Or you can actually give your rights to a money manager who will trade for you.
And trading on my own would be what I would do with EGM and with Scope?
And the Scope, yes.
And then with a fund manager, now that's where, you know, I would sort of hand over a bit of the responsibility in terms of decision making to the fund or asset manager.
Definitely.
The money manager.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. And that is also regulated by the CMA.
Yes,
both
even the money manager is regulated by the CMA.
So tell me, I don't know if I'm the only one who sees this. So I would put up a post online, say on Facebook or on Instagram, and I think Instagram is where I've seen quite a bit of that. It will be totally unrelated. And some of the comments I have there are, thank you, I don't know, at so-and-so, you helped me with the Forex trade. I now understand. Who are these people? Are these regulated? Because some of them are like complete companies I've never heard of. If you go to that account, it's got 0 to no followers. It's got 0 posts. Is this part of what, you know, the regulation is there to prevent? Because there are a ton of them, and I guess maybe they jump on posts that they feel have a lot more traction. And I'm always wondering, who are these people and what is this they're selling? But it's online Forex trade. I made my money. I bought, I don't know, 100 GBP, and I did what, and I did this. And it's we've seen such, you know, an increase in these types of posts, adverts online.
Yeah, you're right. You know, due to globalization and the way internet is open for everyone, you will find a few people who purport to be regulated, or who say that they can offer you better trades or commissions and returns. Yeah. And for us, we do have an investigative and enforcement department at the authority at CMA who looks at those. And what we advise the Kenyans is to please, if you have any issue, just come to the CMA offices. You can also check on our website. We have a whistleblower portal. And just come and tell us what's happening. In the same time, in the background, we're also there checking. Because the truth is, the protection is very minimal if you decide to trade outside regulation. Okay. Yes.
And just, you know, we'll get into red flags and what recourse is available. Am I because the world is a global place, and this is online Forex trading, like we've said, everything is happening at the click of a button. All decisions are made on my phone or on my computer.
Yes.
Can I trade with brokers who are not in Kenya? Is there a way CMA can maybe offer me protection? I could use brokers who are in the US, in the UK, who are in Nigeria or in South Africa. What would your advice be to that?
Legally, you can do it. You can, if you decide that you want to trade with an unlicensed broker, you can do it. For example, if someone wants to send money abroad for any particular reason, he has the right to do it.
Yeah.
The thing is, are you doing it under protection? And why would you trade with someone who is unlicensed? And then if something happens, it becomes a very big problem to see how we can help you. So, and that is why we do have these regulated entities. So we're just requesting Kenyans to please just, and we know that and you'll find most of those Kenyans actually know the regulated entities. For some reason, they decide to use others.
Okay.
So we're just encouraging them to do that.
All right. The questions are starting to come in now on Twitter, by the way, and you can pose them too as well. At Citizen TV Kenya, at Yvonne Okwara, please use the hashtag Business Now. That's how I can track your feedback and your questions. Here's one from Nanzai Ngoche. Asks, what's the minimum amount someone can invest? Perhaps you can...
wouldn't say a minimum, but you would look at what, if you're going into start a business, because this is a business, you want to go in and make some money.
Right.
Then start with something that is reasonable. $100, $200.
So $100 is a reasonable
low.
Okay.
And see how that goes. But going back to Peter's point around regulation, if then you're dealing with those guys who are out there who are not regulated and there's no protection, you can imagine Kenneth and I struggling to get business around here in a regulated environment. Yes. And like you said, Yvonne, most of the people are not dealing with regulated entities.
Yeah.
So for us who are playing on a level playing ground, that's what we would wish to see. A lot more companies, especially those who are not regulated, they send the money overseas for sure.
Yeah.
But we are here paying taxation. We are here supporting this economy.
Right.
But there needs to be some protection for us guys who are doing the right thing.
Right, right. Okay. Still the same question from the same individual says, I would really wish to understand how it works. A bit of tutorials capped with induction and pragmatism will offer a great platform for me to step forward, which I think is something both you and Kenneth have said, that before anybody begins, you do the training. In the brief explainer I did, I talked about a demo account.
Yes.
Do you have that? And so tell us. So I would then go on that and start to play around with it without actually putting money in, right?
Yes. Okay. The demo account actually has what some people would call monopoly money.
Okay.
So you have $100,000 with which to play with. So as you learn how to trade, then you go in and make a trade. You buy, you sell, then you actually see yourself making the money, and also you see you learn your lessons.
Okay.
Yeah, perhaps you got out too quickly, and then the market still was favorable, and those are the kind of lessons that you end up learning. We give you that demo account for long enough.
How long?
We look at about 30 days.
Okay. Okay.
Which and we have training on a daily basis.
I see.
Yes. So Monday through Friday we have webinars, and after that then we also have specific training for, depending on the level you're at. Are you a beginner? Are you intermediate? Are you an expert? We have training around that.
Okay, all right. Much more to discuss around this, but I have to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we will talk about a number of things, like what are some of the red flags to look out for, and indeed what sort of recourse do you have if you have any complaints with the CMA, and some more questions from the two traders who are here with us, licensed, of course, by the Capital Markets Authority. This is Business Now. Your questions, comments, keep them coming. Hashtag Business Now. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. The hashtag is Business Now, and we just want to make a clarification that is very clear. We're talking about online Forex trade, which is dealing in international currency. This is not Bitcoin. This is not cryptocurrency. We will have another show to talk about all of that. That's a whole different kettle of fish altogether. So just a couple of the questions that I'm seeing coming up on that, and that is also a Central Bank of Kenya issue. We will have them on the show to talk about that. So none of my guests here deals in cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. So just so we're clear, but I'm seeing quite a bit coming here. There's one comment here. George Kanyingi is saying, hi Yvonne, I think the problem is the Kenyan brokers say they're licensed and regulated, but their spreads are on the higher side. The spreads is what we said is your cost, right? Yes. For the service provided. So people will mostly use the cheap brokers out there, and there are legit brokers who are not in Kenya. Reduce the spread, my take. Okay, so the feedback, I guess, is well noted, but then also note if it's cheap and it sounds too good to be true, sometimes it most likely is. All right, here's another one, quick one. Kaleli Francis says, I've seen EGM securities, they're saying with $100 you can make $150? No. Is that what you said? No. No. Okay. Ask about turnaround time. So let's just re-clarify that. We were talking about, you know, a good amount to get into the market with. Yes. Right?
Yeah, so what we're saying is that if you come in, we give a 15%, we can give you up to 30% introduction bonus, which is like an appreciation, up to $150. So if you brought in $100, we'll give you $30. Yes, that's what it is. But the maximum is a $150, just to clarify. All right. Yes.
Okay, okay. And turnaround time? Oh, because this is a global market, isn't it? It's
absolutely,
open 24 hours a day.
It's open 24 hours a day. And now with all these payment options, you can go to Safaricom and use your wallet there, or any of the other banks, PDQs. So you can fund your account in minutes. Not to mention, Yvonne, that you can open your account in 7 minutes. Between 5 and 7 minutes, once you give us all your information, your account is verified and it goes live.
Okay. Brian Akweli, I know we've answered this, but just for him again, this one is to you, Peter. Is there a place where I can confirm if my Forex broker is licensed?
Definitely, definitely. If you go to our CMA website, cma.or.ke, you'll actually be able to find the list of brokers. Or you can actually call us. We have a hotline. You just call the office and we'll explain to you who are the listed brokers. So information is there. Thank you.
Okay. Here's Guka C++. Which is the best leverage to use?
As a beginner, we advise that you don't use a very high leverage. So you're looking at 1 to 50. Yes, and then as you get more confident and you're also not trading with emotion, then you'll be basically using fundamentals, then you should be able to increase your leverage.
Okay, trading with emotion. It's very clear to have a clear head with this. Huh?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Because remember, it's a market moving. It's not about you. It's about, what's happening in the market.
And there's a lot of factors that are determining, you know, the market and how it behaves.
Yes.
Many of them international.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I wanted to just talk about red flags with you, Peter. What are some of the red flags that Kenyans can look out for when they see the ads that will be posted on Facebook, the ads that will be posted and come up on, you know, on YouTube or wherever you are online or on social media? What are some of the red flags that CMA can give to Kenyans to say, if they say this, you know, think twice?
I think our Kenyan regulation allows a maximum leverage of 1:400. So if someone tells you we can give you leverage of 1,000, already that is a red flag. Because 1:400 is generally a very okay leverage to go, where you don't expose yourself too much. So if you are told we can give you a leverage of 1,000, that is a red flag. Second, if they tell you that we can make you returns, massive returns, something like maybe 10% a day, that's a red flag. Third, if they tell you, please, you can now send your money to this account in the Cayman Islands or wherever, that is a red flag, because as per our regulations, the money should always remain in Kenya. So our licensed brokers have accounts that are in Kenya, are commercial banks and regulated in Kenya. So anyone who tells you to transfer your money through maybe SWIFT or something else, or to another country, that is a red flag.
Talk to us about educating and sensitizing the public, because I think the way in which at least I've interacted with communication from CMAs, when you're saying, okay, there's a red flag, there's here, but do you feel that there's a need to go out and be more aggressive, perhaps, in saying, okay, we are here, we have barazas, or on Twitter,
yes,
or, you know, that sort of thing? Because I think when we hear from you, it's to say, red flag, do not trade with these. These are the ones who are licensed and regulated by us. Are there any plans to be more robust and proactive in terms of sensitization to the public? I
agree with you. Of course, now with the COVID pandemic, things have been a bit tight, but normally the authority has road shows that is planned. The authority also visits even high schools or even universities to explain all the products in the capital markets. For now, if you go to our Twitter account or even LinkedIn, you'll find a lot of information that is posted almost every minute. New things are being posted in our LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yes. Maybe, Vaughn, I can jump in here as well, because as EGM, having been the first one to be regulated, one of the mandates we got from CMA when we got the license is to educate the market. So we've continued to offer free training. We've been running what we're calling a financial literacy program with the universities. I think we've talked to over 10,000 students in the last 1 year during COVID, and institutions. So that has given us a big, in terms of just creating the market, in terms of people getting to understand what it is we are doing. And yes, we appreciate where the CMA is coming from around the regulations and giving the cautionary statements. But I think, like you're saying, we need to take a step deeper into getting people to understand this market and the potentials and the risks therein. And to a large extent, from where I see it, we are trying. But a lot more support is required.
And I guess, having been the first, I don't know if you've come across people who claim to be traders. There's a tweet here from Anne Kimani, who claims to be traders with EGM. Anne Kimani says, I was duped into depositing money with an individual who claimed he was an EGM security partner. He promised to trade for me in Forex with returns of 21 to 1,000%. 3 months later, no returns, and the guy doesn't even pick my calls. What do I do? She's Anne from Thika.
Yeah,
for both of you, because I think it affects.
Yeah, I think that's an unfortunate that's an unfortunate incident. That's a scammer.
So how do I know when I am communicating with somebody? How am I able to tell? So let me give you an instance. For those of us in the media, we also have accreditation by the Media Council of Kenya. So you have an extra badge in addition to the one for Citizen TV. For other professions, you have, say, an LSK number. For doctors, you have a number from the council. Is there something like that, a way I can say, okay, you are Samuel Kiraka, how do I know you actually work for EGM?
Yeah, currently there isn't. So what we would do is, and what we're trying to work on is to see what we can do with NITA, so that then we have some certification that can be jointly looked at by, of course, the authority would be happy to do that in conjunction with NITA and ourselves and other market players, so that you have a number. You know, Sam Kiraka is an agent, like you do in insurance companies. They actually have numbers and references.
But should that also be by the regulator?
Yes,
it's money manager license.
Yeah, that's why now we have the money manager license. Currently, I think the money manager we have is SIB, who is under the brand of Mansa X. So, for example, if an agent of Mansa X comes and says, "I'm an agent of Mansa X," they could come. They would be having a license, and the license has its code. Okay. However, also you can actually come to CMA, call us, email us, corporate@cma.or.ke. That is the email address you can use. Or there is the whistleblower account. If you go to our website, you'll find the whistleblower. But this is, do you have like a list of all the staff that work at all?
No, remember, remember our clients trade on their own behalf. So for somebody to take your money and say they'll trade for you, that's already a red flag.
Absolutely.
Unless
it is SIB, which is the asset. All right. Getting some more clarity. Samuel Mbugwa says, does one sell the assets after the market closes in the evening, or one can decide to hold until the currency rises in price? Again, this
you can hold.
You can hold.
You can hold, yes.
And then, do we need to just remove ourselves from in the evening because we're dealing with international markets, no?
Remember, markets open at different times of the day.
Yes. So this is international. When we're asleep, Tokyo is awake. When the US is asleep, London is awake.
Absolutely.
And vice versa. So, I mean, I guess just important to understand we're dealing on an international level rather than, you know, East African time. Okay. So here's another one. I wanted to ask this to you, Kenneth.
Yes.
Some common mistakes you've seen people make. I think you just talked about one of those. If somebody says, give me your money and I will do it this for you. So just talk to us about some of the mistakes, maybe things we should know when we begin or going in or even after having traded for a while, just for us to sort of get our head right.
The simplest is over-leveraging. So you put in $100, but you want to commit all of it in one trade. So there are rules around how traders should conduct themselves. So you're looking at the 1% rule. So do not commit more than 1%, for example. So that's a main rule. And then there's this, when the market turns, immediately you react by closing your trade. And then ideally, markets will correct. So if you're too quick, then you... And then we also have people who also don't hedge on their own positions, because you can actually take a position and hedge against a downside. So that way you limit your losses if you're incurring losses. But then again, on the other hand, basically you protect some of your profits. So those are some of the mistakes we have seen. Also, trading before you have enough knowledge on how to. So you say, I opened a trade and then I don't have money anymore. So we have obviously risk management tools, the stop loss, take profit. That allows you to at least make a decision. How much am I expecting to return? And then you peg your profits at that point in time, because markets will oscillate.
I think also the other important thing is probably don't put all your eggs in one basket. So even in the currency pairs, there are very many currency pairs. Think about how you can turn your money into, you put your bets into different currency pairs.
And so, also we have different asset classes. So there's Forex, but then we also have commodities. You had me talk about gold, oil.
Yes, that's right.
We also have ETFs. ETFs are exchange traded funds. So basically it's a basket of a certain class of assets.
I see.
So when one is oscillating, another one is stable, so you end up making a better return on whatever you're trading or investing for that matter.
I've seen two questions here, and I think we must discuss them. I can't find the first one, but it's to do with the taxation issue, and I think we have to be very careful. We've had Kerry on the show before, and Kerry are very... You know, they're aggressive in terms of, you know, getting what's theirs. You know, Caesar wants what's due to him. Joseph Kilembo, and I saw another one as well, says, when doing Forex trading, are you taxed twice? So first of all, who's responsible for the taxes? Samuel.
Thanks, Yvonne. When you're doing, like we said, you're trading for yourself. So you've picked your investment amount and placed it on the platform, and you've made some gain or loss. So when you get some loss, then there you are. But when you get some gain, at the end of the day, you'll accumulate all those gains and do your return to the authority, the KRA, after the year end, and actually submit. So there's no onus on us because we don't get involved. We only offer you a platform to do the trading yourself. So the client or the investor is the one who actually takes the tax burden.
All right. So simply put, I'm with FX Pesa. I make my money. I get all my money. It is then me to say, hello, KRA.
Here I am.
I made money. And out of that, I owe you, it's income tax, right?
Yes.
I owe you, or you tell me how much based on what I have made. And then I remit to Kerry. This is not done by...
No, we do not.
Not done by CMA, who's the regulator, obviously. Not done by the brokers or the asset manager.
Absolutely. It is. It's because of the great philosopher Jesus Christ, who said, "Give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give God to God what belongs
is due to him." Okay, all right. I mean, I think there's nothing more to say around that. Okay, and then I think there was one comment here that I think was very important, and I think it might just help us as we start to close, where somebody said we should focus on understanding how the market works rather than how much money I make. And I understand that because this is business and we're looking for profit. But I think a lot of the questions we have today are, so if I put in $100, how much can I make and what's the turnaround time? If I put in $10, how much can I make? Yes. And I understand that. Let me have one last question to you, Peter, from Peter Gadhuku, who says, what is the regulator doing in regard to trade manipulation by brokers through increasing spreads? So first of all, let's understand what a spread is.
Yes.
And then then answer Peter's question.
I think maybe
one of them can. Samuel, do you want to tell us what the spread is before we then, for our viewers?
Yeah, and I'm happy to say that, yes, the spread is really like the charge. And we have products where we actually have spreads starting from zero, meaning that we are happy to do the volumes, and as you continue to grow the business, then we can peak out. So some have slightly higher spread, others we have our premier account which starts from zero, because purely on that perspective that once you get into a relationship with a client, they are with you in the long term and you can make money off them later. So I wouldn't worry too much around spread. It's been abused, I know, in some markets, but from where I see it, there is potential, and we do take care of clients from that perspective in terms of a spread, just ensuring that we have a happy client today and tomorrow. So it's not, because we charge commissions as well as you trade.
Okay.
So spread is just one other form of levy.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, and that is, spread is normally a business decision. Even our regulations does not look at it because we expect the business to, if they're expensive, then no one will go to them. And that's why
it's a market
regulated.
Yes, absolutely.
And that is why we want more players to come in and more brokers to come in so that the spread will settle into something that.
And which is why we're saying in the beginning, when you are shopping for a broker, those are some of the things that you take a look at.
Yes.
EGMs versus scope versus Pepperstone and whatever, and make a decision for yourself based on that. Of course, including a number of other factors as well.
Yes.
Okay, that's one of them. All right, I just want us to now have our final words from each of you gentlemen. It's been a fascinating conversation. The feedback is quite immense. That tells you how people there's great interest in this, and people are trading in it. So I think I'll begin with you, Samuel.
Thanks, Yvonne. I think one of the areas we didn't quite talk about, and I think that is important, is around the segregation of funds. So when the client puts the money onto the platform, it's not commingled with my business funds. So the account that takes care of office expenses, salaries, commissions, and everything is a separate account from the client's funds. And the client's funds, the authority has a right to come and check at any one time. And the current scenario is that on a daily basis, we are actually able to give a reconciliation of our holding to the authority. So the authority is able to tell how much of client's money we are holding, which is a very good safeguard for the investor.
Okay, and just as an addition to that and a follow-up, do you trade with my money in other ways? So, for instance, we know our deposits with the banks, they can use that to trade with it in the securities or wherever. We even know there's overnight lending from one bank to another. What do you do with my $10 that is seated in your account at FXPesa? It
sits in your FXPesa account until the day you need it. Okay. We don't touch it. It's client's funds. If you trade, you trade. If you don't trade, it sits there. We don't, and we cover costs for the transaction. So if you're withdrawing or depositing, we will take care of those costs. So if you put in your $10, it will remain $10. If you put in $100, it will remain $100. There are no other charges onto that account. Okay. Just to ensure that we run this. It's 3 years only in this market, and therefore we need to build a history. 20 years down the road, we can look back and say, wow, this far we have come. Okay. So for me, segregation is important, and it's important for the investor to know that their money is safe. So anyone who's trying to scam you, we are not together. So those are scammers.
And that means if I want to quit today, I can.
You can.
You said signing up is 5 to 7 minutes.
Yes.
So if I want to leave and say, here's my $10, thanks, bye.
Yes. We have a turnaround of at least 6 hours.
Okay.
That's the worst case scenario. More often than not within the hour, because of course it has to go through the checks to just ensure that we are not giving money to the wrong person.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
sure.
yeah, and you know, you're not doing it on your phone. We have the FX Pesa app, and you're able to actually go in and download and make your request, either deposit or withdraw. Okay. It's very, very easy and very friendly.
All right. Okay, great. Thank you. I'll leave you for last, if you don't mind, Ken.
For us, what we can say is that we are here for the long haul. We are offering continuously innovating new products, as I mentioned. Other than FX, we have a lot of other products. You can also trade in actual stocks. We also have no objection to offer shares, global shares, offshore shares. We also have been admitted as a broker for derivatives on the Nairobi Stock Exchange. We're just working out the final touches on the systems, and then we'll be able to offer that. So we are here for the long haul. Your money is safe with us. And as he said, we are not even allowed to earn interest on your cash. Your cash sits in what we call a trust account. Okay. That money sits there until the day you come for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Good to know and understand. Peter, you have the final word now.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to encourage our citizens to ensure that you trade with licensed brokers. You'll find probably that they're slightly expensive, but it's because of the regulation that we have around them. For example, we ensure that the money is in Kenya. Yes. They don't earn interest on the money. Yeah. We also ensure that they have their board has corporate governance facilities around it. For example, they must have non-executive directors, yes. Directors that are just there because they are thinking about the Kenyans, not about their own business. Independent directors have to be there. Yeah. There are also inspections and surveillance. So the authority, I think, maybe you can tell us, recently we have visited all the brokers, yes. Done an inspection, ensure that they're doing things the right way. So you can imagine if you take your money if you invest with other brokers who are abroad, who is checking on them? Yes,
and is there any recourse if I come to you and say I traded with I don't know who? What can CMA do, if anything?
That is a criminal offense. If now that person has stolen your money and is not licensed, it means now it is a.
But if they're not licensed, where would I get them?
You'll have to report to us and to the criminal department of the CMA. Okay. Called CMA.
And you can help even with those who are not regulated in the Cayman Islands.
That is the problem.
Okay. That's what I wanted
because of the global economy, the way the way things operate, is that you can easily be conned by people who are not even around us. Yeah. So that's an encouragement to just trade with our Kenyan entities, licensed entities. Thank you.
Indeed, and I think that's a good place to leave it. My word, the questions that are coming in, but I've seen your individual companies are responding to a lot of the questions that are coming in, and as well with CMA. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming into the show today. Like we said, much to talk about with online Forex trading. The basics of it is do your homework. Yes. It's risk, but the returns, I'm sure, once you get them and when they're calculated, they are just as rewarding. But let's get into our Made in Kenya segment, which features here on Business Now every single Monday. Now, every home needs furniture to look elegant and provide owners a place to rest and even dine. While there's been an upsurge of exotic furniture made mainly from wood amongst Kenyans, an artisan in Nairobi's Githurai 44 has embraced the traditional African furniture. And as Edward Chue reports, he's already running away with it. Watch this.
Nairobi's Githurai 44, a bustle of activity, both human and motor vehicle traffic. But deep into this neighborhood, an even busier environment. 9 skilled artisans are busy with their hands and mind in not only trying to make a living, but also to preserve what is believed to be a common Kenyan traditional culture. Waweru Changai is their leader.
I'm the co-founder of Utamaduni Furniture. We make eco-friendly furniture. We started in 2016 we saw a need to create eco-friendly furnitures and at the same time bring continuity of our ancestral skills and creativity into the world. Mostly what we use is papyrus reeds, sourced out of the lakes, swamps. We outsource these raw materials from mostly women from rural countries or ups countries. They transport us to us, we store them in our warehouse. Tunatengeneza metallic frameworks. We have to weld together a framework of a sheet. We have our own fundis who come and weave the papyrus reeds together in the sheet. The next process that we do is we apply varnish or paint depending on the client needs. We have to put cushion. For instance, if a client wants a particular fabric, color fabric, we go to Gekomba, we buy fabrics, a cushion and sponges. We have our own fundis who come and stitches them together. Lastly, we have this beautiful product that you can see here. We came together as fundis, we hand weave these products. We employ directly because if we outsource these papyrus reeds from them, they get their own cut. The lorry guy, even the driver of that lorry, can get business from us. We have our own employees, so we are able to get our basic needs from this.
Waweru is glad that he is able to reach a wider range of clients because his products are affordable compared to the others in the market.
These papyrus reeds are eco-friendly, so when someone buys a set, we are able to save trees indirectly. We can get orders from a new hotel venture. Mostly we get orders from schools, individuals, but most of our customers that we get from online business, online platforms. We sell them at very discounted prices. A one-seater goes for 5,500, a two-seater goes for 12,000, a three-seater goes for 15,000.
Just like any other venture, Utamaduni Furniture has had to face a number of challenges, and Waweru hopes in the near future all will be well.
Increase in fuel has affected us so much. Access of capital. Mostly banks are reluctant to give capital because they want security. We have seen great importation of synthetic from China have really eaten our market share in this business. I see a need of banks coming together jointly with the government and educating us, giving us more knowledge. Automatically, if you get no knowledge, more information, you're able to get more business, and as a whole, the economy benefits.
Edward Chwea, Business Now, Citizen TV.
All right, that's all we have for you on the show. Remember, if you want to be featured on our Made in Kenya segment, please tweet us at Citizen TV Kenya, at Yvonne Okwara. Use the hashtag Business Now. Tell us about your business and we will get in touch. I want to say thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming in. There's a question here. How do I get you? Their Twitter handles at Scope Markets KE, at FX Pesa Kenya, and at CMA. Seeing as it's online Forex trade, surely we can't give you a phone number. But you can tweet them, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you. They've, in fact, been responding to quite a few of the questions here as well. The other twin says, nice overlooked talk on Forex market. A little bummed out on the ousting of the crypto question to CMA. Make a date for it. Yes, because CMA does not regulate crypto. In fact, crypto is not regulated in the country. We'll bring CBK, we'll talk about crypto, we'll talk about Bitcoin. That's a conversation for another day, but do look out for that. Thanks for that. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you for your feedback. At the end of it, do your homework. Please do your homework. All right, so thank you. Have a good afternoon and a great week ahead. This is Business Now. I'm Yvonne Okwara Matole. We'll see you again soon. Bye.